Donk Nation, Jackson Janet's greetings and welcome to your daily dose of donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, coming to you solo this week to bring you some nonsensical Steelers talk. We'll get into the little tiny bit of Steelers news, I guess, that's going on, and then a take of Donkey's top 5 memorable Steelers moments. Now, this doesn't mean anything in the history past what I can remember, so immaculate reception and things like that clearly going to be left off the list. Not old enough to remember those. These are the 5 moments when I thought, what plays do I remember from watching the Steelers that happened? But first, some Steelers news is going on. I read an article about one of the Steelers' undrafted free agents never actually signing his contract and just going on with no one quite knows what's happening, but we wish him the best out there. Kind of a weird story, all in all. And no news about what actually happened. So that's kind of a strange taking I thought I'd put out there. I'm sorry I forgot the name. Also, bigger news is the Steelers potentially being in on Chase Young, former really early draft pick by the Washington Commanders, a guy who had a really good rookie year, looked explosive, was always getting to the quarterback, but hasn't really played much the last 2 years due to a knee injury. Who knows if he comes back healthy? I know that the 5th-year option was declined on him, so this is his 4th year and be the final year of his contract. A kind of guy who really, if he is healthy, could be a huge player for any team that gets to have him. But the question has to be, is he healthy? Is he worth taking the gamble on? And honestly, he's a 4-3 defensive end. Where does he slot in for the Steelers? Does he bulk up a little and get the 3-4 tackle? Or does he try to slim down and play outside linebacker? Don't know. Not sure what the fit is. I would assume they're going to move him into tackle if they get him, but could be a very interesting part for the Steelers to add to an already pretty star-studded defense when you look at the front seven and the amount of money that they spend on those guys in there. So that's all the Steelers news I really got going on. You know, there's OTAs, people playing in shorts and t-shirts, which I don't put much onus into. We'll wait till training camp comes and you get to see them play a little bit in pads. But some young guys making some impressions out there. The undrafted rookie running back, Corey Trice, I heard, is looking all the pieces of a guy who's going to make this team the 7th-round draft pick. So, you know, some good news coming out of there, and always some fun stuff to hear about what's going on when there's actually football happening in this dead time of year. So, without further ado, let's get into my top 5 memorable Steelers moments. Anyone who's listening, if you have a top 5, put them in there, and we'll talk about everyone's top moments. What is most memorable for people? Are there weird moments that stand out that you would not think as a memorable one? And luckily for me, all of my top moments are memories of Steelers winning football games, not losing football games. I mean, there are some clearly tough losses in there, talking the Patriots and championship games, just ones along those lines where it just felt like, man, just this team had a chance and just couldn't get it done. And then some honorable mentions to a lot of plays by Troy Polamalu, whether it be interceptions, rolling around, jumping over the line of scrimmage to make tackles. The thing is, he had a lot of moments that I remember. I don't know if I would say any of them made my top 5, but I decided Troy needed a special shout out just for the pure number of memorable moments that he provided when he was a Pittsburgh Steeler. But now, let's start the list at number 5. We'll go to week 1 of 2014, and a poor punter for the Cleveland Browns by the name of Spencer Lanning getting his face just absolutely demolished by the cleats of Antonio Brown as he tried to drop kick or jump kick or allegedly hurdle over the Browns punter to start the 2014 season. Definitely one of the most memorable moments for me because it was hilarious. And how often do you see a punter just get cleats in his face? We'll go into number 4 next. This one wasn't the Super Bowl winning thing, but it might have been the biggest play in the Super Bowl run that ended the Hall of Fame career of Jerome Bettis. As everyone knows at this time, the tackle happens because Jerome Bettis doesn't fumble, goal line specialist at this point, runs up, fumbles the ball. Nick Harper for the Colts picks it up in the divisional round game, starts returning it, but 36 yards later, when it looked like all he had was green grass and one rookie, or not rookie, but one young Big Ben Roethlisberger in front of him, and Ben Roethlisberger makes the tackle. The Colts can't get the ball into winning range. I believe they missed a field goal. And the Steelers get that win, go on, win the Super Bowl, cementing the legacy and the Hall of Fame status of one Jerome the Bus Bettis. What a huge play in the 21-18 win. And then some fun stuff comes out afterwards, which has made it even more memorable for me, of allegedly Nick Harper getting stabbed by either his wife or girlfriend in the knee earlier that week, and things like that might have caused some problems. Just a whole weird situation that led to another page in the long storied history of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We get to number 3, and we get to bring in actual Super Bowl moments this time. The second Super Bowl I got to be a part of. The first half is ending. Looks like the Cardinals are about to take a big step towards winning the Super Bowl, ending the half on a great drive by Kurt Warner. He looks to throw the ball to Anquan Bolden, doesn't see James Harrison drop in coverage. James Harrison intercepts the football, starts running down the sideline, gets caught by Larry Fitzgerald at about the 50-ish yard line. Fitzgerald gets blocked out of bounds because Harrison has a blockade of 4 blockers at this time. He's still rumbling down the field, but he gets caught again by Larry Fitzgerald, but it doesn't matter. He falls forward into that end zone. It's a touchdown. It's a game-changing moment. The Steelers would need another one, but James Harrison, that interception return, I can't forget it. Watching him get chased down twice but still score the touchdown, absolutely amazing. Just not a whole heck of a lot more you could say. I believe at the time that 100-yard interception return was the longest play in NFL history. It later got broken by Jacoby Jones, I believe. But an absolute memorable Steelers moment for me. Then we'll get into number 2 here on my list. It's the other moment the Steelers needed in that Super Bowl. I mean, Super Bowl 43 had moments galore for the Steelers. The Steelers down, trailing. Ben needs to lead a drive. Driving down the field, get about 40 yards out. There's pretty tight coverage in the corner of an end zone. A smaller wide receiver out of Ohio State named Santonio Holmes waiting there. Ben laces one of the best throws in Super Bowl history. And how this play doesn't get talked about more as one of the greatest plays in football history is beyond me because, yeah, I understand the Steelers have immaculate reception, but that doesn't mean they're not allowed to have another great play here. A perfect throw from Ben Roethlisberger, avoiding the 2 defenders standing in front of Santonio Holmes. Santonio Holmes stretching as far as he can, catches this dime in the back corner of the end zone, and keeps 2 feet down. Just amazing, spectacular, unbelievable play. Honestly, had a hard debate not putting this at number 1, but the throw, the catch, the perfect drive, how does this not more talked about in Steeler lore? The winning play of Super Bowl 43 to keep Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden, all those big-time Cardinals offense away from winning a Super Bowl is just probably one of the best throws in NFL history, made by a more maturing at this point Ben Roethlisberger, getting more into his game and just showing what he had always done. Improvise and make those big plays down the field that are synonymous with what will eventually be a Hall of Fame career for him. So that comes in at number 2. And then number 1, I think this play gets a special part of my heart because this play is just a pure effort play. This play was a play against a hated rival, and this play gave me exactly what I wanted on Christmas. A Steelers win over the Ravens. And of course, that brings us to, was it 2016, I believe, Christmas Day. The Immaculate Extension, as people in Pittsburgh now like to refer to it. Steelers trailing. Late in the game, about 10 seconds left, I believe. The play starts. We get the ball. Ben to Antonio Brown. Nothing new there. Chris Mosley, big all-pro linebacker, wraps him up. Eric Weddle all-pro, borderline Hall type of guy, safety. Shouldn't get there, but, great career guy. And don't forget, he had turned down an offer to play for the Steelers that year and decided to go to Baltimore. Those two guys wrapping up little 5'10", 180-pound Antonio Brown, a yard and a half short of the end zone. That isn't going to stop Antonio Brown. He squeezes through a little bit. He reaches that ball out. That's over the goal line. That is a touchdown. That is a huge Steelers win over the hated Ravens on Christmas Day to give Donkey his absolute want for a Christmas present, getting us into the playoffs, cementing everything we need to know about the type of player Antonio Brown was for the Steelers. And to me, that is the type of thing that just iterates Pittsburgh Steelers, whether it was from the quarterbacks I remember, Ben Roethlisberger into Kenny Pickett, the times before with just a physical, never quit nature to these guys. Maybe they're not the most talented, maybe they're not the prettiest ones, but it's that winning mentality that we will do anything. We will give our blood, sweat, and tears to get that 1 inch. And that is why this is my most memorable Steeler moment, is because it, to me, just showed everything the Steelers are. They're not going to necessarily be the biggest guy in the fight, the toughest guy in the fight, but you're not going to see someone give more in the fight than the Steelers through what I grew up watching, late 90s, I guess mid 90s to now. Just everything that was epitomized in that play, in Antonio Brown, the Hall of Fame start he had to his career, which fizzled out with the craziness at the end, but that is who Antonio Brown was, the guy who will fight, will get through, will get that extra yard for the Steelers, and, help them win some games in there. Sad that crew, the Killer Bees, never resulted in a Super Bowl, but they resulted in a lot of my most memorable Steelers plays. So there you have it, my breakdown from 5-1 of my 5 most memorable Steelers plays. I would love to hear everyone else's most memorable Steelers plays. See if there's any big ones I left out there on the list that just didn't click in my mind. See if there's any odd ones out there that are like, wow, I completely forgot that even happened out there in Steeler land, so to say. And if anyone brings up any negative ones, I feel you. There are a lot of sad moments to go with all the great, but for some reason, the memorable ones are great ones to me. So that's all I have for today. I guess I'll go ahead and do a shout out. I'm going to give a shout out preemptively to Andrew McCutchen, who's about to get his 2,000th career hit for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hopefully that happens here a little later today. The game starts in about 20, 30 minutes for me. So let's hope McCutchen can get it done today. Let's hope he can hit that milestone as a Pittsburgh Pirate, as Kutch back in the Steel City just feels right. Now it's time to let you know, I am the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey on Twitch and Twitter. Your daily dose of Donkey with Ginger's YouTube channel where you get some fun content like this. Maybe I'll have Laskers and Gingy, when they return, tell you their most memorable Steelers moments. But Donk Nation, Jackson Jennings, I appreciate y'all for showing up, for listening. Love y'all. Love the support. Don't forget to like, follow, comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you want to hear more of. And tell me your most memorable moments. But until it's time to actually see some football in pads, we'll try to keep it entertaining with things like this. Donk Nation, Steelers Nation, I love y'all. Wave them if you got them. Here we go.